or one of the productions or casting. And so far, I think they've just been really pleased in terms of the way that I've handled myself and have gone about this. I think Dave and John, they're fans like we are, and I think they understand the importance of side characters. I don't think they had any plans for my character. The good news is I'm not dead.
That's right.
Even though in episode 3, it got pretty heated.
Yeah.
But I just kind of went with it, and more, it was like where I would start, the fans would pick off. I mean, they would pick up, and they would just basically say, hey, I'd get an email, and maybe I'd commission one artist, but then another artist would come to me and say, hey, do you mind if I draw you? I have a question about the back of your head. I have a question about your blaster. How was it? Was there a curved dagger? Do you know what kind of gun it was? And little by little, I started storing more and more information, and now it's just kind of taken on a life of its own. I know that in our United States, presidential campaign in November is going to be a very dark one, but I said the one thing I think everybody can get behind is a bounty hunter campaign the next 45 days from Dominic Pace himself, to where I'm going to be able to hopefully campaign to be hopefully the next boss or Dengar at some point. I know, the original bounty hunters only had less than a minute screen time. I'm hoping that in the years to come, I love the look of the character. I personally made sure that I didn't go on set until I had that mask, because for me, the intricacy of Star Wars characters, the more detailed for me, the better. And Stephen A. Poirot, the costume designer, as well as Brian, I did not want to leave. I was in a rush, and they misplaced my mask, but I said, no. I picked the biggest blaster, and I picked that mask because I said, this is going to make an awesome figure one day. I'm 6'4", 260 pounds, the shape of most Star Wars fans, where we're big, we're burly, we like to throw back a beer and have a burger. I said, there's no 6'4" other than IG-88, so God willing, hopefully things will come through for me, and I've just been grateful for Disney for allowing me this opportunity, especially during this time where the film industry has been shut down.
Yeah. I mean, it's beautiful, the amount of things that come out on Netflix and Prime and all the other new streaming platforms, because and of course the Disney Plus. In fact, I only got Disney Plus for The Mandalorian, and then I worried about what else was available afterwards. But coming up with all these different venues and abilities to move forward and not just worry about major film. I mean, as you mentioned, the bounty hunters had only a mere seconds on screen, and yet they had their own figures, like Bosk and IG-88 and some of the others, and they were through catalogs and sticker books and everything back in the 80s, and to now have bigger streaming availabilities and bigger companies and production companies, and now that it's under Disney, I can't see why or why they wouldn't try to push more of their unique bounty hunters out, because there are so many different revenues or channels through which Star Wars is now represented, be it like comic or cartoons or books or audio, and then of course shows like The Mandalorian and some of these other spin-offs that are in the works.
I agree with you 100%. My concern, just being second team for season 1, is just that when the new wave of season 2 comes along, I just want to make sure that I'm not being buried with the new content. I think he's going to do some intertwining with the Clone Wars and with Rebels, and obviously a lot of times, just like Black Series, they even focus on obviously the A-list of A-list characters within the universe. So I feel like I'm racing against the clock to get everything in before October, but I think my campaign and also my pitch to my agent as well as to Brian, once we season 3 embark, I want to just go ahead and give the best college try I can, and then hopefully see where the chips lie. I think I've gotten some pretty good momentum, and the great thing again with the Star Wars characters is sometimes they manifest themselves over 2, 3, 4 years. I mean, look at Boba Fett. He would have not killed him off, thrown him in the Sarlacc pit, had he not known how famous and popular Boba was going to become. So I'm hoping for the same fate. The way that Hollywood, the industry is right now, a lot of actors, sometimes they shy away from being typed into one character. Well, I think I might be the first Star Wars actor that got the tattoo of my character on my body. I think I might be the first one that did that. So I'm all in on Gekko. I went all in with Gekko with every single thing, and I'm hoping that it'll continue on, just like most Star Wars fans dream there.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and I think with Star Wars right now, I think every character that gets created at this point is extremely deliberate. So the fact that you're not dead and there's still lots of show to make, I think the chances are pretty good. that you might be sticking around.
Yeah, for sure. Well, and you're so interactive, and I had actually had shared out your birthday greeting post that you had put out. I thought that was so amazing of you. You know, like there are people out there that a lot of actors that have a part, and they try to they do the I can't remember what platform it's called, where basically you do shout outs for $20 or $30 or $40 or $100 whatever people want, and that's it, and you're willing to give a shout out to Star Wars fans as a birthday greeting for free, and it's really amazing of you.
Oh no, absolutely. Listen, I got to be honest. Over the last 7 months, the Star Wars fan base has literally supported me. I have not worked in 7 months. I mean, well, about 3 months. Before COVID, I booked a few roles. But, literally over the last 7 months, just buying my autograph and the fans who have bought, some fan art, my challenge coin or a signed tracking fob or bounty hunter puck, it just day in and day out, I'll get a notification from PayPal, and it's like I can't do enough for the fan base just because I'm so grateful, not only for this opportunity within the last few months of them supporting me, but also just the fact that I just am still beyond words being in this business for over 20 years and to, again, have received this kind of attention for less than 1 minute screen time, even though we all know how popular and famous Star Wars is. Mm-hmm. I'm still shell-shocked at the fact that I've been getting this type of notoriety, and I'm grateful every single day and humbled by it.
It is amazing because, like you said, with the small amount of screen time that you get, I mean, you're forever emblazoned into Star Wars history, and it happened with Boba Fett. I mean, here was a character who got very little time, and became actually a fan favorite, even over like Luke Skywalker himself and Han Solo, that people would idolize the mystery of the bounty hunter Boba Fett, and now here you are as one of them. And I'm not gonna lie, it was my birthday a couple days ago, and I was browsing through your site, and I kind of missed obviously a cutoff on trying to get some of that sweet merch to come this way. But I'm totally amazed by your puck and even your autograph. I mean, you've got a really nice setup of a lot of the things that people can buy, and our listeners really have to get that chance to kind of go over, take a peek at your site and check it out. It's really cool.
Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, the website's GekkoTheBountyHunter.com, but I'm really excited, even amongst all the crazy conditions in America right now, to hopefully meet a lot of people in person. Again, this tour is really to support small business. A percentage of the proceeds and the sales are going to go towards the store themselves. Every business right now, and whether it's in Canada, America, throughout the world, is essential, and for me to take on this journey is not only exciting as a Star Wars fan, but also I feel like it's all of our duties right now to be able to get these mom and pops back off the ground, because everyone's kind of suffering in one way or another just due to all the lack of volume just due to the COVID there.
Yeah. And just even with a lot of the online content, your regular comic book shops and stuff, they're really struggling. It used to be just, they sold comics, and then they had to start kind of bringing in toys. That would kind of keep things going. And now they got to bring in board games, and, they've had to expand beyond just comics. And knowing that they've got a celebrity such as yourself in their corners is just amazing.
Absolutely. No, yeah, one hand washes the other, and really excited for this trip. I'm bringing my 11-year-old along with me. It's pretty ambitious, but at the same time, I believe in the character. I love our country, and I've sort of been a blue-collar actor to where I've never made any excuses. I've never expected the town to give me anything, and the one thing I appreciate about a lot of mom and pops is they got it done themselves, so it's very parallel to the story of the working actor, the 99% of us who don't have the big $1 million mansions and just have to work day by day. So I'm honored to be alongside so many of them, along with the Star Wars fan base in America here.
Yeah, amazing. Now you had so I've got to ask you. I had just found out recently that the robotic bartender in The Mandalorian was actually voiced by Mark Hamill himself.
Yeah.
Did you happen to cross many of these other characters when you were there on set? Because I know sometimes the way they shoot things that they don't have everybody all together.
Yeah.
Did you happen to cross Mark Hamill at all while you were on set at all?
No.
No.
I mean, the one thing with voiceovers, I just had a friend that just finished a major Pixar movie, and he didn't even get a chance to meet Chris Pratt or anybody else until the premiere.
Oh,
so,
wow.
a lot of times with the voiceovers, they're pretty obscure because they get to do it on their time,
yes.
especially when they're A-list, like either Hamill or Pascal. But the great experience was being opposite Brendan Wayne, who was a third of The Mandalorian. Matter of fact, maybe 2/3 of Mandalorian, in that Pedro, pretty much just did the voice.
Yep.
But most of the times where it wasn't a major stunt, performed by Latif, I believe his name is, just an amazing acrobatic stunt guy. Brendan Wayne was the grandson of John Wayne, who I spent the most amount of time with, along with the legendary Carl Weathers. As an Italian-American, we also grew up on Rocky, and whether you're African-American community or Italian-American community in the Northeast, we were heavily inspired by that whole series. So to be alongside him and to flank him was just a dream come true. I'd like to believe that, being a member of the Bounty Hunter Guild, to be able to flank the head of the guild so closely during that standoff, I'd like to believe that Gekko is viewed in high regard within the guild. So hopefully there'll be more on that storyline in years to come, God willing, from either Dave or John or even the legendary now Deborah Chow, who I owe a lot to. She directed episode 3,
yeah.
and she's also heading up the Kenobi series. So I always like to believe, people say, what is your dream future there for Gekko? It would be to go back in the past and to be a secret Splinter Cell to where Vader commissions a group of bounty hunters to go after Luke, to where they get their butt kicked by Kenobi on Tatooine. So hopefully these things will come to fruition. But either way, I'm just very grateful to Deborah Chow as she handpicked me to be part of episode 3 there.
That's amazing. It'd be really nice if you could cross over into some of the other episodes that obviously that are coming up, or the new Star Wars stories that are coming up. The beautiful thing with bounty hunters and alien races is you don't necessarily have to be locked into a certain time period, right? Like, who knows if you're, with like the baby Yoda, I mean, his race obviously lives for like, 1,000 or 3,000 years. So, who's to say that, Gekko can't be like 200 years old, and still
Absolutely.
just as spry. So,
absolutely. The only thing, in this town is just, it's like the Goldman Sachs in terms of the financial world, to where you have William Morris, UTA, ICM, Endeavor, these major agencies where, the wall to get into them or to get that phone call in, even through my agent or through my manager, is sometimes difficult. So that's why we're hitting the road. We're showing them. You can't necessarily pick up the phone or tag Dave and say, hey, by the way. But I'd like to believe, all the good will that we're doing out there, the passion that we have. And also I believe that I'm a strong actor, being a veteran for 20 plus years. Mm-hmm. I'm hoping they're taking notice. And again, we're not looking to have our own side story, but just to be part of a Splinter Cell of 6 or 7 where you've got that one big bounty hunter, amazing gauntlets, which are thick as anything, that I think can do a lot of special things, along with an amazing blaster, less agility, but a very, very cool look. Fingers crossed. We'll see what happens.
For sure.
Nice. Well, sidestepping Star Wars for a second, is there anything else right now that you can share with us that you have in the pipeline, or is the Star Wars your primary focus right now?
Oh, no, absolutely. I've been a working character actor and still continue to work. I finished recent guest stars on popular shows on Fox called 911 and Deputy, and also NCIS LA last year. And then I'm starring in a feature film I'm very proud of. It's called Anonymous Killers. It'll be out later this fall on VOD, most likely on Amazon or either Netflix. It's about 5 killers. It's going to talk about the social structure in America. And the great thing about it is, whether you're swing to the right or you swing to the left, everyone's going to leave with a different feeling. The director sort of takes you in a certain direction, but he doesn't necessarily swing one way or the other. And it's just about those who come from privilege, those who may not. And these 5 killers are trapped by basically the top 1%. And they have to give a deliberation as to why they did what they did in their life. The only thing they have in common is that they killed. But what it brings forth is just how people from sort of poverty-stricken, upbringing have to do what they have to do in order to survive. So some of the killers you might sympathize with, maybe a woman or Latina where her mother got raped, or an Italian-American where there weren't too many options. You join the mafia back in the 40s or the 70s or the 80s, et cetera. Or others, you just don't have that sympathy for. But it's going to bring forth a lot of great issues. It's not just going to be blood and guts and shooting and action. I'm really excited about it. Starring as Romero Scarinelli, directed by A.R. Hilton. That'll be out later this fall. And also co-starring opposite Tyler Mane from X-Men and Halloween in a feature film called Psychosis. And they're still working on the wrapping up the distribution on that. And then there's also a little horror film. It's called Follow Me. It's a good little sociological thriller as well. And that should be coming out hopefully later this year to VOD as well. So a lot in the works. But right now we're all in on Gekko. And like I said, God willing, Disney will pick us up a little bit longer. And if anything, just be able to get that Hasbro or that Funko Pop so I can put the icing on the cake for this dream that came